and welcome to KnightHunter Books. We have our Christmas book haul for you today. We're very excited. We got a few books at Christmas, actually more than I've got in many years, so good for us.
Indeed.
So these are all from a variety of people. The first one I got though is from you, and that is Bindi Bye Meteora, which is a novella from Tor.com. And it's one I've wanted to pick up for ages because I've read some of her other books which I've really liked, and this one sounds very intriguing. It follows a girl called Bindi who is the first of her people to go to this prestigious university in space. So, sounds fun.
My first one is Pyramids by Terry Pratchett, and as you can see it's the delightful embossed collector's edition. This was actually the first Pratchett I read years ago, out of the spinner outside of my Year 5 classroom in primary school.
Aww.
So nice one to get. This is my first of the collector's editions.
I'm hoping to gradually replace the ones which are missing or falling apart. This one I wanted probably from hearing Kitty G's really glowing reviews of it. So it's an autobiography of Malala, who is the youngest winner of the Nobel Peace Prize ever. If you don't know, she was shot by the Taliban when trying to fight for education, especially for young women. And I don't usually read autobiographies, but this one I've heard is really good, and it sounds like she's lived quite a life so far.
My next one is The Arabian Nights. With lovely deckled edges and incredibly fine paper, that's about 500 pages. So I've read variations of The Arabian Nights for years and things that reference it and refer to it, particularly Catherine Valenti's Orphan's Tales. And this is supposedly pretty much the definitive edition, something I've been wanting to get a copy of for ages. Translated by Hussein Hadawi, and it's based on the oldest sort of known manuscript, which is believed to be complete, a 14th century Syrian manuscript.
Mm-hmm. My next one is one again which I've been eyeing up in bookshelves for a long time. This is Jeff Vandermeer's City of Saints and Madmen, and I read Jeff Vandermeer's Annihilation trilogy, or the Southern Reach trilogy I should say, which I really loved, and this one sounds very interesting. It's a bit different. Fundamentally it's about 700 pages of short
which
stories.
You had to look up.
Yes, yeah, it doesn't actually have page numbers, that would be too conventional. Well, it does for some stories, but yeah, kind of short stories, but also some of them are fiction, some of them are non-fiction. Well, no, they're all fiction, but they're written like non-fiction. I don't know. There's family biographies, scientific papers, all that kind of stuff, all centred around this city of Anne Burgess, which I think he's written a few other books in.
So sort of the novel equivalent of a sort of found footage horror movie.
Yeah, like loads of random stuff collected together. So, a bit of an experiment.
So my final one is Ghost Talkers by Mary Robinette Kowal, and this I've been wanting to pick up for ages. It features an American heiress living in London who works for the Spirit Corps. It's an alternate world, Second World War, where necromancy is a thing. So all soldiers are conditioned to report to the Spirit Corps when they die, so that the top brass get up to date military intelligence from the recently departed.
Makes sense.
There's a traitor within the Spiritualist Corps, and things start going wrong. I've mostly read her glamorous histories, which are very much a pastiche of sort of Regency novels, particularly Austen, so it's interesting to see something written in her own voice. I appreciate she's a very good literary mimic. It'd be interesting to see what she's like when she's writing as herself, assuming she's not trying to copy some author I've never heard of.
And my next one is Nalo Hopkinson's Brown Girl in the Ring, which is a dystopian, I think, or post-apocalyptic story following a young girl in a city that's been mostly abandoned. And there's some elements of mystery, of kind of how that all happened, and it sounds like there could be some supernatural elements as well. There's mention of gods on the blurb at the back, so particularly interested to pick this up because Naylor Hopkinson's kind of one of those authors which I've really wanted to get round to. She's a black Canadian author.
When was it published?
This is published 98.
Right.
So, oh god, 20 years ago.
Near enough. It's old enough to vote.
Yes. And the very last one is a bit of a cheat because I didn't get this for Christmas, I got this just before Christmas. If any of you saw my Chinese TBR, I mentioned this as a collection of short stories that I thought would work really well for the month, and I've been really excited for, so I thought the best excuse to pick it up. This is 16 stories by Ken Liu, a lot of which are award winners of various different awards, and we have actually already read some of them and they are absolutely fantastic. So full review wrap-ups come, but very impressed so far.
In fact, you've read them and I've listened to the audiobooks because Bex reads them to me in the car when we go on long days.
Yeah, that's why we haven't got through as many, because we're trying to get through them at the same time, but it is very tempting to just skip ahead.
Apart from one that you read the other day, and why did you have to stop reading it?
Yeah, it made me cry at work. Watch out, not safe for work.
That's it for us. We did get a few book tokens in these weird foldy versions with the Queen's head on them. We'll no doubt get around to spending those at some point, but that'll probably form part of a normal haul.
Yes, January sales haul.
In the meantime, thank you for watching.
See you again soon.